To find out more about this RAF bombing in Kurdistan, he crossed illegally in Iraq with the Kurdish rebels. This part of Kurdistan was recently the heavy fighting between the Kurds and Iraqi army. To escape the war, the refugees left to have returned. To this disruption, we found some people still living in who remember the British bombing 70 years ago.
أما دقا حكومة أوران لو روان زيبون روجي با وقتا شي فازة تيارة لو كرة كيدات نخوار والله فازة أو دادن حتى نيان داتاسو نراسي دائرة إذا لبقرم قرم هل فازة فوكد أقرانو لكرة شي آوابون فازة يدهاتن بشرف زيان أميانا دابا أما تقعني والله أو وقتي دوازدو سيدة سام جيتنا لسخد دوتا خالبا بزام بيزار شرن دقا شد دقا
ولا يكون بارك دهات يكون بارك على كريان لدان حالة ما كش حبوت سبحانه دقر بياني هر تارتونا كرشي عندكيش أتونا كفتك عاش الشيخي إيرانا تيارة روجي عندك زاسيد زاداتن
فبالله ولا كان يبو عليكم مال تعال هات المسيرات من هل وشارع لو تملا سجد يم دخوش كلمه أمنو كمل في عمل شيء هم بلش العديدة أمنك تمرويشتم رسم الله رسول الله وسينك بشبيلا بالدار وبلا بالدار وبو أما أخبار ربي فيك
The film of the RAF was discussed recently. In the 1920s, bomber squadrons were based at makeshift runways of British air.
We were flying at 2 o'clock in the morning, and quite often we get a signal stating that a certain Kurdish village had fly in pairs because little or no we much otherwise if one of us went down we'd know on. And we village then fly over in and drop our bombs and go those we can to see that our bombs had actually hit target.
The pilots were ordered to machine gun any Kurds who were hostile.
You can identify them quite easily, and if they're not villagers carrying the normal business and they're carrying arms, then they ought not to be. And if they were doing something you could see that they're not doing, then you shot them.
I was the RAF. I had a job to do. And was to my commanding officer, who gave me my orders. If the Kurds hadn't learned by our example to give themselves in a civilized way, then we had to spank their bottoms. And this was done by bombs and guns.
Senior officer under Arthur Harris, airtime bomber command. Before he wrote of these operations, the Arab and Kurd now know what bombing means in casualties and damage. Within 40-sized village, be practically wiped out, and inhabitants killed or by off machines. The RAF sent to Iraq as a result of the breakup of the Ottoman Empire at the end of the First World War. France were given mandates to rule Turkey's former territories. France was given control of modern-day Syria and Lebanon, and Britain was given Iraq, Jordan and Palestine. Everyone living in the Middle East was content to exchange one ally for another. The Kurds, a people quest for independence. But unfortunately for them, oil had been discovered in large quantities in territory around the city of Kirkuk. Under the They feared that an independent Kurdistan would use British power in the region. So they joined Kurdistan with two other provinces and a new country, Iraq.
حكومة العراق عربي العراق تسلمتي دولي شمال وجنوب إيمان أمري حق حقوقي كخوان بإيمان بخشيف خوان وإيمان زور أمل ما نهبو كسون أما نقول بريطانيا قصدي نهائية وبشمان نابت وكسي لمدي زور كما بشمان.
Led by Sheikh Mahmud, the Kurds rose in rebellion. Just after the end of the war, they pulled together the news of Iraq. The minister responsible was Winston Churchill. In 1921, he called a Middle East conference in Cairo to discuss the situation. Among those invited, Lawrence of Arabia. The problem was casualties. After the carnage of the Great War, Churchill was extremely reluctant to risk thousands of British lives in Iraq, a country about which most men. After this crisis came the RAF. Sir Hugh persuaded a revolutionary scheme. He proposed sending RAF veterans to crush the rebellion from there. The bombers would be cheap, at casualties.
Churchill was the air minister at that time, and it was a question whether the country at that time could afford to keep the standing army that we had in Iraq. I think it amounted something like about 13 battalions of infantry, God knows how many battalions of artillery. Air Force, Trenchard, Churchill, that he could take over the responsibility of the country and they could bring them completely out of it and they'll save a lot of money, because I think there was a great deal of thought in the country that we wanted to get to hell out of it and let the Arabs get on with it.
We were pretty well bankrupt after the First World War, but we had plenty of aircraft and a lot of keen young supply. So they decided to try letting an occupation force, which means troops on the ground. They decided to hand over the whole of the running of Iraq to the RAF.
The Air Ministry in London regarded RAF operations in Kurdistan as an excellent training ground. New weapons were developed for use in the air, amongst ordners of napalm and air gas. The ministry drew up a list of possible weapons: phosphorus rockets, metal crow's feet aimed stock, man-killing shrapnel, liquid fire, and lay-action bombs. Many of these were first put into use by the RAF in Kurdistan.
As soon as they knew we were coming over to bomb, they went up to the hills and sat in their caves. Well, so eventually what they did was to drop delay action bombs, so that they'd have a 4-hour delay on a 112-pound bomb. So the natives sort of take it off out of the village bombing, eventually return and possibly be put on the actual bench, you see, with them.
In the bombing, the RAF drew little distinction between civilians and combatants. Bombs dropped on a town would kill innocent civilians as easily as rebel tribesmen. Officers believed by destroying villages and creating refugees on the rebels take peace. One squadron leader wrote of the tactic: "Driven from his village, tribesman is stripped at a blow of all that makes life tolerable. If, to the deprivation of all the necessities of life is added exposure to cold, it will be appreciated air operations conducted in the winter and spring have the maximum moral and physical effect on Kurdish tribes." In spite of the hardships involved, the Kurds continued their rebellion. The city of Suleymaniye, recently one of the centers of the Kurdish uprising against Saddam Hussein, was also the headquarters of its rebellion in the 1920s. Air Minister details the conditions in Soleimania remain unsatisfactory. Sheikh Mahmoud persists in his disobedience of government. People of Soleimania are notified that as a result, Soleimania will bomb. Were then sent to drop leaflets over the city. Warning the RAF was about, but with no experience of air raids, few people took any notice.
تانا وراوني أمثيلة شنو ولا ترى أنا جنيك لما أريد صاحين تشوفين ترابو هات ودر وسبروا كل بري حتى الرحمن ببارو بريجي ما كلي مش طبعا أنا كلبا في خاطي كل الله
أبو حميد جينا جن حكوا أخرتكوا من شاي بارشة تبو دستي أمان بو نه همون لیب بوا دستی آیا کرد قاچش ولا تعبون چاورم کرد بس
شو هكذا وجود شو أشونا حمام وشو أشون ناني أنا كرديان خواردو مرشي تجاونا كانت ترسا شو إشي أنا كرد لبعض نترسي تعرف.
Like Martian, Sheikh Fatala was staying in Suleiman. One morning, he was surprised by a dawn raid.
من هات دروا من مقاي خومن وقتكم زاني تاري عاس يستاي زانكوا هات بو كولاني مالي مفتي بس عاسمان واحد مالي إذا بجلا يشم شون داني شم تارك آواهات قنبلكي فرق وكو خوي تارك قنبلكي آواهات حيواني مالي توفيق برز بودو قابو قنبلكي شورناو حيوانكوا كشو ناوه كوا يشان نبارو كيفريا ريا أو داري مو كوتا بشتي منه كوتا بشتي منه تري أو ما كم زاني بسرما أو تدارو نبواي بسرما بوم بشره حتى ساعات جي بيتشو تقريبا قلب جرتار كهاتن هوارم كرتم بناو مونتان أم قدرم كبخا كنازو باش خريج ولا فيش سمتشكا أما الموضوع أواسن فبعنا راكشن برسمتمكو أو بروتي إسخان بتمشكاو من أنا نص على عوام.
The bombing of Suleimania achieved its aims. The casualties and destruction to the city forced Sheikh Mahmoud into them, and the city was occupied by British troops. Trenchard's vision of the potential of air power had been vindicated. So much so, the Colonial Secretary in 1925, Leo Amery, wrote of Iraq, "If the risk King Faisal runs throughout Iraq, it is entirely due to British aeroplanes. If the aeroplanes were removed tomorrow, the whole structure would inevitably collapse." Yet the success could not hide misgivings at the methods involved. A disturbing report reached Churchill of an incident where British pilots had machine-gunned women and children. In response, Churchill wrote, "To fire willfully on women and children is a disgraceful act. I am surprised you did not order the officers responsible to be tried by court-martial. By doing such things, we put ourselves on the lower level." In spite of Churchill's intention, no action was taken. In fact, Trenchard took steps to censor reports before they reached his political masters. The documents proving this censorship were kept hidden by official secrecy for 50 years. In one letter, Trenchard instructed his commander in Iraq, or tonnage bombs dropped or casualties caused, as the news that 2 tons of bombs have been dropped on some little village daily might give a wrong sense of proportion at home. In another letter, the Air Council asked for a report to be censored on the grounds that, if this report as it stands were to get into the hands of undesirable people, harm would be done not only to the Air Force, but also to Her Majesty's government. However optional reports were at home, there was no avoiding the requirement of the pilots ordered to carry out the bomb.
My pilot was a flying off McNeil. We flew and commenced flight. While McNeil, only a wireless option, took to do action, but just flew around the battlefield looking at it, and then flew off to find out what was or if they might be farther back. And we flew into the hills there. They were very close, of course. And eventually found a couple of poor Kurds struggling up a mountain.
Gale's pilot fired a burst of gunfire at Kurds.
I had already spent some years living with the Kurds. At Halabja, I lived right in the town with the Kurds all round me. I used to walk out and the doors open, I think. They virtually thought they were looking after me. And when McNeil had put his burst down, I was bloody annoyed.
You things get a little bit upset, you do get a bit tight, and it feels good sort of let go with a gun. It's a feeling perhaps it comes over you. I've experienced it. It's not something that you want to do, it's just you get carried away, I suppose, a bit. And
discussions did you have about it?
How many? Did you kill it? Did you like it? Didn't? A discussion about the curse. Previously, you might have been out and had a tea party with them somewhere in one of the villages.
They were much more jovial. And, to my way, they were Iraqi from the plains. It was quite a joy to go up through the mountains and call into the various Kurdish villages. They always supplied you with some tea and fruit, and it's very welcome. So that then to learn, we had far more respect for the Kurd than we did for the Iraqi.
They had some very fine principles which they lived by, and we should have been encouraging the Kurds rather than siding with the gutter rats who were the Arabs, and they were.
I think they were doing the right thing in what we were doing. In the operation place, we were ordered to do it, and it was a job of work. Everybody knew. Did you feel really justified, apart from the on, or perhaps you thought your own life was in danger, and you thought you had to take back and do something about it? But I'd never met anybody really that enjoyed killing Kurds. I don't feel good about it. I still sort of read and know what's going on, and I don't like it. Not one little bit. I think, what is it? Political expediency.